Hi everyone, so final video review for this week is for On the Rocks by Georgia Beers, which is the second book in the Swizzle Sticks romance series. If you want to check out my review, I have just posted that, so if you're on YouTube there's a link in the description below, and if you're on Facebook or on my blog then there's a link within the post. And this is the video review. So On the Rocks by Georgia Beers, absolutely perfect. I have read the first book in the series and I was so excited to read the second book. So this time Vanessa Martini can't help but keep bumping into Grace, who is the mother of Oliver, who is a pupil that Vanessa teaches. So Grace is going through divorce and Oliver's making things quite difficult for her. So the last thing she expected was to be attracted to her son's teacher, adding extra complication into the mix for her. Vanessa and Grace, they share this moment as a result of their continuous chance meetings, and then Grace can't help but sort of getting carried away with falling for Vanessa, but she's a bit wary because Vanessa didn't seem overly approving of her at first, and she's kind of convinced it will come to nothing. This was just, I adored it so much. Everything about the story was perfect. From plot to the characters to the moments shared between Grace and Vanessa. Yeah, very first chapter, absolutely hooked on the story, and I couldn't put it down. I loved it that much. I was desperate to know if Vanessa would give in to all she was feeling for Grace, or whether she was going to continue to sort of fight it on her no dating pathway. And when it came to Grace, I just hoped that she would be happy again, because she really, really deserved that, and she was genuinely having just this awful time, and she really didn't deserve to have such difficulty. So I really was sort of like in her corner, really wanting her to be happy. But this story, in this one, it was Rudy, Delilah and Oliver that made it for me. Those three extra little additions in the characters, it just wouldn't have been as good without them and their input. They were like a cherry on top. It was perfect with them. And the initial tension between Vanessa and Grace was just brilliant. It was so good. It worked so well, and they were both sort of left conflicted after that very first meeting, for different reasons as well. Sort of, it was that, you know, first impressions count sort of moment, and it was really, really exciting how that then continued even after they'd both sort of admitted there might be something between them. There was still that tension, and it was like, why are you guys fighting this? You're mad. But they, you know, they had sort of admitted to their friends and family that there might be something there, and yet to each other they were doing that awkward dance you do when you sort of like someone and you don't know how to, you don't want to mess it up, but you don't want to like change everything, but you do, but you don't. It's like it was they didn't want to cross that line, you know. There's that line in some cases, and again here, like parent teacher, there was that line that they were sort of really hesitant to cross. But it's just like, just cross the line, guys, just cross the line. But the whole story was just a lot of fun, and each chapter held new exciting moments, and Georgia's just packed in some great moments of comedy here. Whole chunks, sometimes they were a bit more subtle, but I laughed and I could relate to thoughts and feelings. Genuinely just had the best time reading this. It was great, and I cannot wait to read it again. It was absolutely brilliant, and I can't recommend On the Rocks or the Swizzle Sticks romance enough. They are great. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed it, and I hope you will too. I will pop a link in the description so you can go and grab a copy of On the Rocks by Georgia Beers, which I really, really hope you will. If you've read On the Rocks, I would love to hear your thoughts, so please comment below. Please let me know what you thought of the story. If you haven't read On the Rocks yet, but it's on your to be read list, you're planning to read it, or you're now really intrigued and thinking, I really want to read that story or the series, again, comment below, because it was great to hear what you're interested in reading. And if you do read it, I really hope you enjoy it. Bye!